Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Octoman, and yeah, this is another Unity tutorial. This time, a pretty much basic one about how you can make your life easier with different snapping tools. I'm gonna show you several different ones, which are provided by Unity already since, well, a long time. And if you're starting new and have trouble, like putting something on a specific distance or grid or behavior or related to other objects, then you probably have some problems in putting all of that stuff together. So, like for example, you have a bit of a building. For example, I'm gonna build a building and gonna show you all the tools I'm going to use for that. And meanwhile, you're building buildings, and you probably want to have like one size is different than the other, and you want to snap them together, like usually know in let's say in 3D modeling programs. Then you're absolutely able to do so, but with some specific behavior, I would say. So let's start with the with building a building. Like with I created some assets which we can or which I gonna make use of, so I can show you like everything we need to know about that. So I have some wall pieces over here. This one is, can I show that a bit bigger? So this one is just a regular corner of a building. Inside is some whatever, and I'm gonna have several different ones. They all have different sizes. As you can see, this one does not have the lower part over here, the door, which is not really openable, but still it's just looking like a door. It's just a placeholder for me. Then I'm gonna have a small piece in here, which is half size of a wall. This is just a regular wall piece, and we're gonna have the regular wall piece with a window inside as well. Okay, so let's talk about how can we actually manage all these tiles together to build a building. For example, when you're starting creating new levels and scenes and stuff like that, you want to make sure that everything fits together. Especially when it comes to modular or modularity for this particular pieces in here, you want to make sure that you have everything right, that there's no slit in the back in the middle of that, and so on and so forth. For example, I'm gonna drag in this corner. I zoom in a bit so we can see this hopefully a bit better. We actually don't need much of the game view. Also, I'm gonna take the camera and bring it away so it's not in the way over here. Okay, so let's think we're gonna start with our modular pieces in here. We're gonna have this little wall tile, and currently it is, you can always check the transform, it is sitting at 0, 0, 0, has a rotation of 180 degrees. So when you want to create now your building for whatever, however it's going to look, you might want to have a wall. So let's take, where is my wall? No windows. There we go. So as you can see, this one is differently rotated. It is still sitting on 0, 0, 0, but actually it doesn't really match my content over here. So let me just bring this away and drag it around and rotate it. Now we have the first problem. We can type in rotation numbers or we just rotate it like that. But we don't know how much do we actually rotate. We can only see that over here. We can type in minus 180, and that would make us actually give us the correct angle. But let's assume you have nothing like that. Maybe you have like a 50 or 45 degree angle and so on and so forth. It is hard to predict what is going to be the correct one. So what I want to do is I want to show you now the first case of added tools, which you can make use to snap these ankles. As you can see, I have this little snapping circle whenever I use that snapping tool, and that makes my life way easier. Okay, let me rotate it in here to 90 or to 0. Then I hold down the control key, which is currently the snapping tool, and you can see I can easily rotate this by 180 degrees. Cool. Where are these snap settings and how do we activate them? Once again, you activate them by holding down the control, or STRG for the German people outside. So STRG or control key on your keyboard, hold it down and the snapping tool is arriving over here. Same for moving. When you are going to move stuff, you're going to be able to hold down control key and snap it into position. But still, I have no idea where this door is currently, except this X position is 2.87, blah, blah, blah. So we don't know how can we actually get this into right position. Of course, these have all a regular size of 1 meter by 1 meter. So I know, okay, since they are modular and they are all 1 meter from the left to the right, it's easy for me to predict, okay, this is going to land over here, which is probably on the x-axis of 1. But if you have that building is going to be somewhere here, you have no idea where it is, right? So it is just anywhere. And this is the problem. That's where once again the snapping tools come in handy. First, I'm going to show you the interface for the basic snapping tools. They are in Added Snap Settings over here, and you get this little window. For example, you can move on X. Usually it should be like 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. You can say, okay, this 0.5 represents, okay, I'm moving this on X whenever I hold down the control key. I snap this by half a meter, like half a unit from wherever I'm currently coming from. For example, currently I'm on X 4.055. When I drag this, I should be on 4.555. As you can see, it snaps from wherever it is currently. I can bring it here. 540 or 444, gonna bring this on X to 0.5 or plus 0.5. It's gonna be 495 over here. So this is what the snapping tools basically are. So I recommend not, sometimes you might want to use scale, but at the moment you might want to touch or not want to touch it. So, and you can define how far you want to snap these. You can keep it low, you can make it big, it's up to you. Okay, so this is the first snapping tool you want to know. So whenever you are bringing or taking around or whatever, or actually moving around things, you might want to use snap whenever you, for example, have even numbers. So for example, we're going to start at 1, 1 on X and Z. This 0 on the Y axis doesn't interest me at the moment. So when I drag this to the right, 1, 2, I know I'm just 1, 1 away from wherever I started, or just 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and so on. You can once again manipulate this on every axis, like when we're moving on axis or we want to move by 0.1. We can also do that. As you can see, it snaps automatically. Meanwhile, I hold down Control key, don't forget that, and I'm gonna be able to snap this to wherever I want to. Okay, let's assume we have a totally fancy, I don't know, position of that. We don't go into rotation right now. By the way, here's the angle of the rotation. You're going to rotate. Meanwhile, snapping, I keep that on 15. You can also put this on 45 degrees, for example. Let me take this again so you can see this better. I hold down Control. As you can see, now we have this little yellow indicators over here. And when I snap or rotate now, I'm going to have 45 degrees in rotation just by holding down the Control key and setting this one to 45. I can even go by 90. So whenever I do that, I'm going to do a snap automatically by 90 degrees whenever I drag the mouse, meanwhile holding Control key. Pretty cool, right? So this will make your life easier in setting up things. Okay, so now we have another problem. These snap settings can, by the way, also be snapped on X, Y, and Z wherever this is. For example, the closest from the current position. So as you can see, I can do X, Y, Z. It will automatically bring me to 1, 0, 0.5. So this can be done anywhere. For example, I'm gonna bring this like in the center over here of this grid field. Well, it doesn't make really sense. Maybe here. On X, I want to have this rounded to the closest, so I can press on X. Then on the Y, we are almost in the Y completely 0.5, and now we can do this on Z. It will bring me to -1, I believe, because it's closer. Oh, no, minus 0.5 was closer in this case, so it's taking me always into the closer direction based on these snap settings. You can also do or take the snap all axes, and it automatically brings you to the closest possible point from that point. Okay, so now we got that. Now we have our building over here, or we want to start to create our building. I want to, for example, I want to create this building like a door in between, probably a window and some walls, whatever. So I can first go and duplicate. Once again, duplicating is also important. Control D, you always duplicate the currently selected one. Now we want to hit E, and we want to do, make a rotation over 90 degrees. And I have my next part or next piece, but I still have no idea where I'm actually at. Okay, let's do this for the other two corners on the bottom side. Probably gonna take to other corners which don't have these parts over here. It doesn't really matter actually. So I bring my other corner in here. As you can see, it is already anyhow rotated, at least by 90 degrees. Hello, thanks for tuning into the stream. And yeah, I can bring this anywhere, but I really have no idea where I'm currently at. I can duplicate this by Control D once again and rotate it by holding down Control key for that. So I have somehow the base of my building. Still, I have no idea where I am, but I need to fill that anyhow, and also the other pieces as well. So I want to make sure that all these are rather correct aligned on every axis, as well as the distances between all of these are going to be correct. So how do we do that? For example, I want to have like an empty wall here or a windowed wall. So I'm going to take one. And then I'm going to show you the next, the actual snapping tool, which has here, we're going to have here a window. So I'm gonna take this. As you can see, currently the pivot point is going to be here on the lower side. Now I Control D that, or no, I Control rotate this one. And now comes the second tool. The second tool I want to show you is called vertex snap. So I can snap this corner vertex. Well, let me go to wireframe shaded. I'm gonna have this vertex over here, and I can take this and bring this to this corner 100%. So it's matching 100%. How do I do that? There's another key on your keyboard you should remember, and you need to remember for the future. It's the V key. So press V will give you something. And of course, you need to be in movement mode, like you need to press the W key to go to movement. And then you take V. As you can see, it snaps automatically to where my mouse is or where actually vertexes are. Okay, I can take this vertex now by holding down V key and drag it to this vertex. So I can snap it to this one here over there. So I can also do this vice versa, doesn't really matter. So let me take this, and I want to snap this to this corner. As you can see, it matches 100% right now. So this gives you a way more freedom now to create or to set up all these walls all accordingly and to build your building from bottom to top, right? So let's see if I have a door somewhere here. Gonna check that. As you can see, you need to rotate it. Once again, I have no idea where I am. Gonna keep on holding that. Now use the V key to snap from this point. Don't forget, you need to be in the move tool, which has to be activated over here, or with the W key again, and you snap this over there. Maybe I'm gonna duplicate my window. Since it already is somehow aligned, I can hold on Control for snap by half meter, because I know that everything here is going to be half meter modeled, but somehow or sometimes you don't have that. So you probably are not able to move that. Maybe you have a gap in between here, so you need to use the V or this vertex snapping tool for that. Gonna do the same here. I want to make sure that this is my closed corner. So as you can see, rather simply, we're gonna be able to snap everything together with that snapping tools. And now we can basically finalize everything else rather quick, since we can now copy and paste, duplicate and stuff like that to wherever we need and want that. For example, I'm gonna take my window here once again. I can move it anywhere, rotate by 90 degrees, holding down for Control for snapping, use the V key in movement mode and bring this over here. Maybe duplicate this again to have a bit more. Once again, I can snap this because I know the modularity is 0.5 on this. So every piece over here, except the door, is 1 meter. This door piece is 1.5 meters from left to right in case of units or meters, which is basically the same. Then I'm gonna take this piece and snap this to the upper corner over there, and probably the back side might not have any windows, so I can probably take my non-window piece without no window and bring this to the back side of the building. So once again, hold on snapping tool and we are good to go. Duplicate this, snap this all over, snap this once again all over, and finally I can snap the corner piece. And now you see there's a problem, right? We miss like half a meter to the next wall over here, or to the next wall piece. Before I'm gonna go over that, I want to duplicate them first. Gonna bring them all over the place. I can rotate them by 180 degrees, and take the snapping tool once again by vertex and bring this over here. Once again, doesn't make sense because we want to make sure that it is matching the other wall. And there we go. And this is pretty cool so far. So one thing to note once again is now I need another piece which is matching this little gap, because once again the door in my case over here is 1.5 meters. So I have a half wall, which is this one, and I'm gonna be able to bring this over here. So whenever you purchase any items, make sure that there are enough enough parts to fill in like every possible gap. And now you can see everything matches this empty wall piece. We can put this wherever we like to, of course, and we are able to fulfill that one. Now we can also put in like more into the top. For example, we're gonna be able to duplicate everything. We take away this door piece if we like to, or probably we are better to increase the size. Give me a second. I guess that's better when I take windows in consideration later on. So probably I take this one and snap this in the front side. Makes it easier, I guess, in the long run. I show you in a minute why. I'm gonna put this over here, and now I can take this complete part, this one as well, hold control or the V key and put it in. Those empty walls, once again, they are on the back side of my building in here. Gonna just pretty quickly duplicate this and snap this all over. Why did I do this way? Because now I can put here like 1, 2, 3, 4 windows next to each other if I like to. Hi DK, thanks a lot for tuning into the stream. And that's probably what we're gonna do next. We're gonna select everything crucial, maybe not these ones, but everything we need for the next floor, basically. If you want to have multiple floors, you can absolutely do that. I take everything I need for these floors, maybe also these 2 windows, and then I duplicate them and bring them up. Also, once again, I can take the snapping tool, hold on V key, and snap it to the corresponding parts. Now we can just go in and fill the complete stuff over here, duplicate that, bring this over here, rotate by 90 degrees backwards, and once again, due to the magic of modularity, it is automatically fitting here as well. I hold down Control and press D again for duplicate, move this all over, rotate by 90 degrees once again, and snap it by 0.5 meter so it's matching here as well. We can now design or actually think about, do we want to have like 2 empty parts here, or do we want 2 window parts here, and so on and so forth. So once again, this is a design decision you want to make on your own later on anyways. For example, we're gonna do all of that so far. You're welcome, Peter. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm happy that this is actually interesting for you. And now I'm gonna snap this over here. Static objects are usually for light baking, as well as taking away some, let's say, calculation from the CPU time later on. So marked or objects which are marked as static objects are literally not movable and stuff like that. So they are not getting taken into consideration with like physics and stuff like that. So they don't need to be calculated or taken into consideration at all. Hi, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. So, and what we can also do is now we can take the back side and put like 4 pieces of windows if we like to. So I'm gonna just rotate them by 90 degrees according to, once again, always how this pivot points are going to be related to. And now I can literally go and duplicate these 2 more times and snap them. Just hold down Control key pretty good. And somehow I took them from here, so I just snapped them 1, 2, 3, 4, because they are 2 meters high and everything is good to go. So now we have like a rather quick way in putting buildings together. Well, rather quick means, oops, go to shaded mode again. Rather quick means it still takes time, but it's easier to set up in total. Why do I do that, or why do I say that? Is because, oh, there's a gap. Let me check this pretty quick. So gonna snap this again. That's what you, by the way, easily see also. If there is a gap, you usually see this rather quick. As you can see here, there are some like dashed lines or something. So probably the snap doesn't work 100%. But just think about that. If you don't use any snapping tool, you will never hit 100%. As you can see, this one here doesn't seem to be snapped correctly as well. So gonna do this for here. And this one doesn't seem to be snapped 1%. So make sure you are working, yeah, rather clean with everything. So nobody has any problems with that. This one seems to have a gap as well, a small one at least. And yeah, that's how we can check that. And that's what you see. I mean, when you later on play the game or somebody else is playing your game, he's always telling you, oh, by the way, something is wrong there. I don't know what it is, but it is there. So you might want, yeah, to always check this out and see if you have worked clean or not. Somehow, I'm not sure where this starts, but over here I seem to have another, or this one seems to be, or the problem might be already here or starting here. So I need to make sure that I once again clamp them all 100% together. This one seems to be a bit off as well. But yeah, that's the way. That's how you see that, how you can manipulate that, and how you can bring everything with 100% precision actually together. If you don't like this way, of course, there is a scripting way for doing stuff, but even that requires modular pieces which all, for example, have the same size, or let's say they can have different sizes, doesn't basically matter, but you want to create a robust system which is looping through all the pieces, how big the buildings have to be, and all the other fun stuff which you probably haven't think about or thought about. But today I didn't want to go over and do another editor scripting, which I have done the last 2 days. So I wanted to show you something more, let's say, practical. Whenever you're starting designing things, checking around, building, yeah, stuff together, and so on and so forth. Some useful tools in this case, or even shortcuts, as I already, whoops, explained to you. Control Z, by the way, is always back, as it usually is. So somehow I'm gonna go in and fix them. The cool thing, whenever everything works and matches 100%, then you can just duplicate a complete floor. So probably I'm gonna check them all out. These ones seem to be fine. You just need to slightly move them so you actually get a good result, or actually the result you are after. Once again, these are snapping to vertex, so the more vertexes you have, probably the harder it is to match. This one has a little gap, and this one was fine. So pretty cool. I'm actually through that. So what I can do now is I can put some floors in the center. Maybe can make a usable door and can enter the building if I like to. I can look out of the window if I like, and so on and so forth. So once again, make use of the snapping tools over here. Make use of the V key for snapping everything together. Hi, Bitch here. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And also, yeah, maybe build some roof tiles. I don't have any roof tile at the moment, but probably I find one over here. Actually, I just go and take a cube maybe, and since I know how, or I should know how far this is going to be away from each other, basically it doesn't really matter. But I can also even take this one and snap this here onto top. Then I can say, okay, I want to reduce its size to maybe 0.2 in height as a roof tool. Once again, I don't have a texture and stuff like that for this thing, but I'm not sure. No, I guess not. Doesn't really work, but probably we can take this tool, which is usually made for 2D, and maybe we can take this corner here, this one, and maybe we can also make it anyhow snap to our outer surface. Let's try that. I haven't never tested it. I press V and boom, there you go. So I can even use this 2D tools anyhow. Oh no, it doesn't seem to resize it automatically. Let's try again. Nope. Okay, that's too bad. So I need to resize it on my own anyhow. Sadly doesn't really snap the size. That's a bit sad. But still, you can be rather precise with that as well. So, and then you have a roof, right? So you can check into from the top and from the bottom. If you want to have a floor like inside here, you know, okay, it's maybe on 2 meters height or something, then you maybe want to duplicate this cube, Control D, bring it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have a second floor over there, and then you can probably put your camera here inside. Gonna do some fancy rendering, go around, put some maybe stairs down or even up to the roof and so on and so forth. So all of that, once again, is stuff you want to take care of later on when it becomes interesting, I would say. Also, of course, don't forget to texture all of that stuff. I don't have much textures here inside my... Nope, I don't have any tileable ones, but you can put basically anything on these usual cubes because they are going to get automatically tiled. And yeah, that's basically everything you need to know about snapping tools, right? So, and now you can build like super fancy buildings. I can even build bigger ones, smaller ones, yeah, whatever. I can even, yeah, put on the top another piece or another corner type, whatever, and I can build any skyscraper kind of buildings if I like to, just because I know that I can snap a complete yeah, complete floor, I would say. Like so, I'm gonna just can literally go through them and bring or actually take all of these pieces. Probably I want to make a yeah, an empty game object which is holding this particular floor, which you might want to do as well. For example, I'm gonna show you pretty quick. You create an empty game object. You don't need to put it anywhere. So, and you can name it maybe floor 1. And on floor 1, you're gonna put all related objects, like all 3D models you have put it onto the first floor, like so. There we go. And maybe the back side here as well. And now I just drag them here into floor 1. Maybe I can also take the roof if I like to. Don't necessarily have to, but what I can now do is I can also duplicate the complete floor. So Control D, and now I have a second floor and can put this basically anywhere I like to. And I should be able to take even this one, yeah, and try to snap it. And not too easy, as you have seen, it's a bit tricky, but I can still snap it anyhow with some luck. I am able to snap this onto the other roof. And so once again, this just makes your life extremely easy into going and yeah, doing all that snapping stuff. So that basically concludes my live stream. I hope you still enjoyed and I hope you learned something, especially when you're starting new and so on and so forth. Absolutely funny to play around with these tiles or with things you're gonna create in the future. Maybe you're just a designer but not a programmer. Then this is going to be the way how you want to probably design different buildings based on whatever you get as tiles from your 3D artist or whatever, or even 2D artist. I believe there are even 2D snapping tools. Should be basically the same. If not, well, don't bear me. Just write Unity. They should put some in. But I guess there are 2D snapping tools as well. So once again, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a lot by that small session. And I hope to see you in the next live stream or even tutorial. Once again, see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, if you want to take any courses on how to create specific games like Pac-Man, Mastermind in 2D, or even later on a Galaga course is coming up, feel free to check my Udemy courses, as well as check out my website where you can hire me if you have any problems in game creation, basically. So my website is octomangames.com. And yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in and see you in the next one. Bye bye.